Hello again. My name is David Batten. Today I'd like to show you the progress I've made on my volunteer tracking application. So last video I showed you where you could register a new user, and that was basically all that we had gotten to. We did build the UI for the login and the registration page and set up the actual registration using Google Firebase authentication. So this last sprint I've taken it a little bit further. I've added in verification on the login page to make sure that the user is actually been authenticated and has an account. And we also added the ability to send the user an email so that he can click and verify that account, so we just don't create tons of erroneous login information on invalid emails. As well as adding in a resend the email verification just in case they don't get the email for some reason or accidentally delete it. We don't want them to be stuck in limbo trying to log into the application. So let me show you what I've done since the last time. I've reorganized my project just a little bit by putting my activities into an activity folder, and I've created a dialog folder for a dialog. The dialogue pretty much is an activity, but I separated it because it's logically something different for this application. So basically, once we click on the resend email verification, it's another little kind of like a pop-up window, sort of, instead of just an actual, activity that we have. In addition to that, I have another window right here. So you can kind of see what this looks like just a little bit from the design view here. That it's just a simple couple buttons to cancel, conform, and you got to re-put in your email and the password that you want, and it will kick off another email. So let's check out some of these things real quick. So for the dialog let's go ahead and go with the register activity first, and then we'll come back to the resend dialog. So what we've really added down to here was this method right here to send a verification. So we get the user from the Firebase database. We get an instance, we get the current user and stuff. If the user is not null, we want to send the email verification, and when it's complete, it's going to give a notice that it's sent or is by means of a toast, or if it fails for whatever reason, you're going to get a toast that pops up that could not verify or couldn't send the email. So, and if we come up here, we can see that all I did is in here, we did a few modifications inside our register new email with this if check here. If it's successful, then we're going to send that verification, and we're going to log out and send them back to the login screen. If they're not successful, we're going to tell them, hey, unable to register. So that's what we changed on the registration page. Now going over to the login page, if we scroll down, you can see there was very few modifications here. We did on resend email verification click. So if you remember from, or actually you can see it right here, this little link right here, when they click that, it's going to kick off this resend verification dialog. It's going to open that up. You can see it's not an intent. As we have up here on the click to go to the next page. Where was it? Let me see if I can find it. There we go. On the registration click, it takes them to the next page. We create a new intent. So that, just wanted to make sure you saw that difference that we had going on here. And anyway, it's going to show that dialog with a little pop-up. And then let's take a look at the code for this. So this is the resend verification dialog. I showed you the UI for that over here. So we've got a lot of setup in here of getting all the data from the database, or not the database, but the UI, and tying it together to the elements in the UI. We are setting up our listener events and stuff right here. We're looking to see if the email is not empty, and we're verifying that the password is not empty. If they're not empty, then when they click that, we're going to, and the confirm dialog, that's the confirm button. I'll show you in a minute. It's going to kick off that email and basically do what it did the first time and send you a link to verify. So if otherwise, it's going to tell you that you have to fill in all the fields. And then we've got authenticate and resend email. This is doing basically exactly what the authentication in email does the first time. It just goes in and checks and makes sure everything's good, and then it kicks off an email. If not, it tells you your password may be invalid, or you may need to reset your password. And I do not have that working yet. So that is actually something I need to do on my next sprint, is add in forgot password and some other things. So now that you gotta understand what's going on, let me make sure I have the most current one running. Alright, so this is up and running. So before I do that, let me open up my Firebase. So this is the user that I already have. So what we want to be able to do to show you that it's kicking off the email is I'm going to delete my user right here, and we can see that it's gone. So I'm going to come over here to register, and I'm going to re-register again. And I'm going to use good old QWERTY for the password. And we're going to hit OK, and we're going to hit register. And if we give that a moment, we should see, yep, there, we got an account. So now at this time, we haven't verified the account through the email system. So I'm going to go ahead and try to log in using my email address and using QWERTY. And you should see a little notification right here that's telling you you need to check your email. So if we come over here, I'm going to refresh this email right here and this conversation. You can see we have 4 of them now instead of the previous 3. Now we get this notification that it's been verified, and if I come back over here, I can hit resend. Now additionally, I can also come down here, and if I needed another button or link there, I can hit the confirm, and it would say it sent me another verification. And if I refresh, you can see we've got 4 here, and I'm going to click that, and yeah, you can see I have a total of 5 now. So 0 minutes ago, yep, I just got it then. So that was this sprint. I'll see you in the next sprint. Thank you.